Hello YouTube friends and subscribers. What we are going to have a look at today is this Volkswagen Golf Mk5 TDI, where we're getting a load of clunking noises under the front end somewhere. My guess is it's something to do with the suspension. So what we're going to do first of all is take the car out for a little drive and see if we can record that clunking sound. Right, well, I'm no expert on these things. I would say that is probably not supposed to be like that. This looks as if there's a little bit of evidence of movement, or just doesn't look as dry as it should be, that part. My guess is that this rubber bush wants replacing. This is the driver's side, also showing signs of deterioration, but not as much as the left hand side of the vehicle. There's a big bush there. I don't know what that does, but that seems to be okay. There's a big bush in there. I'm not quite sure what that one's called. It all looks fairly okay. There's no loose bolts that I can see. That side doesn't look too bad. See if I can get a look at the suspension now. That's the drop link. I don't know if that's showing signs of wear. It looks okay to me. The gator, the CV gator, all looks pretty good. Okay, the CV gator on this side, the right hand side is split, but right at the end where it joins the axle. I don't know whether, if some of the grease has come out of there, I don't know whether that would make the constant velocity joint rattle. I doubt it somehow. As you can see guys, that bush is pretty slack and has quite a lot of movement in it, which I don't think is what it should have. So we're going to investigate and see what the cost is of replacing that bush or the whole arm. I've decided to remove this wheel arch liner, splash guard, so we can actually get a decent look at this bolt we're going to take out, which happens to be a 18mm, so not 17 or not 19, which you will have in your kit, but a 18, which means just quickly popping down the road to Halfords, where you can get an 18mm socket. Right, well, this part here, this bush, cost about £6 from GSF, and I'm wondering if I can push that out of there without taking the whole wishbone off. What do you think to that idea, guys? Obviously the back bush is probably a little bit knackered up as well. I'm just going to give this a little try and see what the chances are of pushing that rubber bush out of there. I'll just show you what I'm doing. I'm actually hacking away at the outer shoulder of the rubber grommet, or the rubber bush, and I'm hoping once that shoulder's off I'm going to just simply push that through the other side. Right guys, I'm going to carry on filming even though I'm not that certain we're doing this right, but just for your information and for a laugh, this is what I'm doing now. I discovered this old puller in my tool kit in the garage, and I'm now trying to force the rubber bush to go through the hole and out the other side. You might find this amusing, but anyway, we could just go and get a new whole arm and chuck it on there for £50, but where's the fun in that? You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. You feel like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love is right. I thank God I'm alive. Okay. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. Just arriving at GFS to pick up our part. Hopefully they've managed to actually have it in stock as suggested on the website. Here we are, £3.49, and hopefully that will go on nicely. We'll just have a little walk back down the road to home. GFS. Of course, it used to be known as German, Swedish, French in the early days when I was fixing cars donkeys years ago. I don't know whether the very first branch was actually here in Dorset, in Poole, but when you needed a part for a foreign car, there was this small wholesaler of parts on a Poole industrial estate, and they were known as German, Swedish, French, and somehow they seem to have morphed into this national chain of GSF. So this is our part which we have got to shove through this hole here. Now, I'm not quite sure. I thought maybe fairy liquid would be the thing to use, but I've also remembered I've got some of this stuff kicking around, silicone spray. Right, this is the way I'm trying to push that rubber bush back into its position. Not the easiest thing in the world, to be honest. I've got a little packer of some wood at the back there to even up the legs, and I'm going to slowly tighten this up and see how far we get. Okay guys, I'm going to have to confess I have just given up on that. Pressing that rubber bush through there, lying on your back, is just a non-starter without some kind of tool that I haven't got. So I'm going to take the arm off completely and then batter that in there with a sledgehammer if I have to. I don't think that looks too bad there. Okay guys, you can see what we're doing here. We've had to drag the arm out completely. We've had to put a packer underneath this corner of the puller, and I've got the assistant from across the road, Raimondo Nobwell is known as, and we think we've just about got this to squish in through its opening. Come on guys, no day's complete unless you've got a bit of a nick, is it? So you've got the three 16mm bolts there to remove, tighten those back up to the correct torque. If you don't know what it is, look it up. And this big bolt here, the 18, tighten that back up until you hear a noise in your trousers basically. Failing that, look it up on the Volkswagen specifications website. Here's the tools reviews on this job. Nothing very spectacular. 16mm, 18mm socket, an extending bar screw. This obviously, this puller, you saw how many times we use that. It's not really a thing every DIY is going to have, but I have my doubts whether you could have succeeded today. Lump hammer, a WD-40 silicone spray. Before you throw away the old unit, we found this to be exceptionally helpful in guiding the new one through its space, because keeping the thing straight while keeping the new one straight while you're pressing it through, by putting this at the bottom end, it helped to as a guide, like a pilot. Always remember to use your axle stands, guys, before you get under your car any stage. Well, thanks for watching everyone. Hope you found that interesting. DIY attempt to stop a clunking noise underneath the front of a Volkswagen Golf TDI Mk5. Now, I think it's fair to say that that was not a success, because I've just been down the road and we are getting exactly the same clunking sounds. So, all you experts out there, perhaps you'd like to leave a few tips below and see if you can help me solve this problem. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you'll be able to see what else we get up to, mistakes, cock-ups, and some successes in the DIY car fixing and around the house too. Thanks for watching.